Good morning, Angela Yee.
Good morning, DJ MB.
Charlamagne the Guy.
Peace to the planet, it's Friday!
Yes, it's Friday.
Now, Amy, you just told me that there's people downstairs with signs. Are they protesting something?
I don't know. You know, I do like a little shimmy, shake, dip, twist, spin, and then go in the building. So by the time I seen them, it was already too late. But I did see a sign that said at Breakfast Club something. I think they wanted to holler at you, though.
I saw people down there, but they were shooting a movie because there's 2 trailers in front of the radio station. But I ain't seen nobody with no signs.
Yeah, signs.
It says something like "Power to the people."
Oh, really?
And then it said we drove from San Francisco.
Why y'all ain't take a picture? That's dope.
I didn't know what was
I got in
going on.
30 seconds before you did, bro.
Let me go tell somebody to go downstairs and take
Well,
a
why
picture.
did you take a picture?
I didn't see anybody. And I walked right into the front like I do every day. I take the same path that I took when I got punched upside the head.
That's the only path.
Well, not the only path, but
yeah,
it's a path of least resistance.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
It's not, right? I know,
No,
everybody
it's
be
not.
out there.
Yeah,
You're right.
but I did
So
that.
wait, you didn't see anybody outside?
I didn't see nobody with no signs that say no Breakfast
Maybe
Club,
they
power
left.
to the people.
You gotta start. No, I walked in 30 seconds before and they was there. You got to start looking around your surroundings, bro.
For what? I pay people to do that.
Yeah.
So white man in the suit down there right now.
There's actually 2 people down there. One in the suit and one not in the suit.
That one not in the suit. Pick your poison. All right?
They didn't say anything to you, like, hey, there's people out. They don't give you a little heads up about what's going on outside.
I got a text this morning.
You got a text this morning, bro.
I don't worry about stuff like that. I'm listening to I drove in this morning listening to Monifa, I Miss You. You know what I mean? My Uptown Records playlist going. Okay, today is Friday. I feel good. I'm giving all praises to God. I ain't thinking about no drama.
Today is National Tenderness Day. Is that? Am I
No,
reading
it's
that
not.
right?
It's Tenderness Toward Existence Day.
Oh, I just seen tenderness.
I don't even know what that
You know
means.
what? Yesterday was Winnie the Pooh Day. Y'all didn't even mention that.
What you mean? I walked around with a shirt on and no drawers all day long.
There you go.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you
Not
talking
in this
about?
climate, sir.
What are you talking about?
My goodness. All right, well.
You're right.
Yeah,
That'd be
this
very
time,
embarrassing.
yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you something, man. Somebody's nudes leaked this week, and I don't know if it's this person or not. But bruh. Hey, bruh. I hope this story don't get no bigger. Like your penis ain't get no bigger.
Now let me.
Wait, so both of you you've been walking around with this guy's penis on your phone.
And let me explain. Charlamagne walks in the room and says,
Don't say the person's name.
I won't say the person's name.
Because we don't even know if this person. All I'm telling you is my people
I'm
sent
not
me the
saying.
picture.
I'm not saying. Charlamagne got a picture of his phone. It says, "Look, guys, this got to be one of the smallest penis I ever
It's
seen."
unbelievable. Yeah, I'm gonna show you.
You already showed me.
But I felt awkward, but I wanted to see.
It's unbelievable.
You just wanted to see.
I would much rather be short with an average sized penis like I am than be tall with that little micro penis. That ain't even right, man. That ain't even fair.
All right.
Now, one of Charlamagne's friends on last week's episode of Lip Service said that he actually tried to tie a weight to his penis every day.
I'm not responsible for that.
And tried to stretch it out, and he ended up getting a hernia.
I did that too. I didn't put the weight on it, but
Okay.
I didn't put the weight on it. But they used to have these pills in the back of the sauce.
Well, that's way different than putting tying a weight.
But it was an exercise that you had to do when you take the pills. The pills were called Magna RX. They're supposed to be penis enlargement pills. And the exercise was when your penis was flaccid, you grab the tip of it and you stretch it for as far as it can go. So I used to do something like that as well.
Well, he tied a weight to it. And that's the next
Man,
level.
Listen, we all trying to better ourselves.
It's Freaky Friday.
Yes, it is. I'm glad you know.
My goodness.
Damn it.
All right. Well, Toure will be joining us this morning.
Who is Toure?
Toure's a journalist.
He's a journalist. Works.
And he's an author. He has a few books out, several books.
He's infamous for that
Drink the
interview
Kool-Aid.
with R. Kelly. If you remember the interview with R. Kelly, where R. Kelly was like, what did R. Kelly say?
He said that he asked him, does he like teenage girls? And R. Kelly said, what do you mean by teenage? He's also infamous for when he interviewed Jay-Z and Nas.
Yep.
And
He had a show on MSNBC.
Yeah.
He also did a lot of cover stories for Rolling Stone, for Vibe, a lot of
And
publications.
Jay-Z said in the interview that Cam was dry snitching.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
So I read one of his books before. I read How to Drink the Kool-Aid.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll kick it with
Yeah,
him
I read
next
that.
hour.
It says a collection of essays.
And we got front page news. What we talking about?
We are going to be talking about potentially. Well, you know what? Let's talk about this Tide Pod challenge because we haven't even addressed this yet.
The hell is
I'm going to
that?
tell you
Oh,
what.
that's so stupid.
You haven't heard about this Tide Pod challenge?
I think I did.
All right, well, we'll discuss what YouTube is doing now to try to assist.
All right. We'll get into all that when we come back. Keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. It's G-Eazy.
Everybody
everybody, it's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, if you still watch football, playoffs this weekend. Patriots versus Jaguars, Eagles versus the Vikings. All right. Now let's talk about this Tide Pod challenge. It's so stupid. I don't even know who's the first kid to say, let me try this.
Well, they're saying right now the hashtag Tide Pod challenge. If you want to see what that is, you can look up that hashtag. Has exploded, and they have issued an alert from the American Association of Poison Control Centers because it's so dangerous. It started off with a lot of kids would eat the Tide Pods because I don't know if you guys use those, because it looks like candy, so little kids would ingest them.
No, they do it on purpose.
Well, no, this is how it all started. But now, kids who are teenagers are actually doing this Tide, and even younger, doing this Tide Pod challenge on purpose. In the first 15 days of this year, they're saying they received the same number of calls about intentional exposures to these laundry packets among teenagers as it did in the whole of 2016. So just in the first couple of weeks, more than it did in a whole entire year. So kids are ingesting them and videotaping themselves and then posting it on video sharing websites, social media, and vlogging platforms. So now,
why though? Like, what's the reason?
I can't figure it out. What do you get out of it? It just gets you sick.
It's dangerous. You end up going to the hospital.
I keep telling y'all, man, this generation is morally and intellectually corrupt. We're supposed to be smarter because it's the information age, but actually, it's making us dumber. But this is stupid.
It doesn't even make the kids high. It just makes you sick.
Do they die?
No, they don't all die.
Well, some of them deserve to, clearly.
Yeah, so right now YouTube is removing all of those dangerous videos and you will get a strike on your YouTube. So if you try to post that and they see that on there, they're going to remove it and not try to spread this.
Let's play a game of guess what race it is. I haven't seen not one video. Not one, not zero.
Right.
But I'm going to just step out on a limb and say it is those of Caucasian descent that are participating in this game.
Yes, I think you're right. I haven't seen any black minority or any other. Just it's been
probably ain't no black person gonna waste no goddamn detergent. Your mama gonna whip your ass if she find out you in here eating this Tide. Okay, Tide expensive as hell. First of all, you ain't gonna get no Tide. You gonna get the store brand thing that's like Tide, Tide Pod or whatever it is. Okay, so you ain't gonna waste your good ass Tide eating it.
You know, right?
I used to be scared to use those. I don't know why.
I've never even seen one.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to use them wrong because I didn't know you put it directly in the washing machine. You know how you put the detergent in the top part and then it comes out. You have to put it directly in them. It's just a little pot and you just throw it inside of the with your clothes.
I ain't gonna lie. I haven't washed laundry since college. I
do laundry constantly.
When I first heard Tide Pod, I thought it was like Title's new podcast app or something.
All right, and let's talk about the California couple who have held their 13 children captive in their home. They're facing up to life in prison. Now, what they are saying, there's more details about what happened with these 13 kids aged 2 to 29 years old. The couple would allegedly chain the kids, beat them, and starve them. They were malnourished, and they had both physical and mental impairments. They're pleading not guilty. David Allen Turpin, who's 57, and his wife, Louise Anna Turpin. They're being charged with multiple counts of torture, abuse of dependent adults, child abuse, and false imprisonment. Now, I know a lot of people ask, why didn't they just escape sooner? Because it took one of the kids escaping and letting everybody know what happened for all of this to get exposed. But it's because they were scared. They said at one point 2 of the kids had escaped together but got nervous and turned back around. The parents would force them to sleep during the day, stay awake at night. They never saw a dentist, and they weren't allowed to shower more than once a year. So they only were allowed to shower once a year. Now, as an example of how malnourished these children were, one of the kids, who was 12 years old, is the weight of an average 7-year-old, and the 29-year-old female victim weighs only 82 pounds. So the parents would punish their kids frequently by beating them, even strangulation at times. They would be tied up. Well, at one point, one of them was tied up and hogtied, and then when that victim escaped, they started using padlocks and chains to make sure the kids could not escape. They weren't even released to use the bathroom while they were tied up. And the one thing they did have, though, is they were allowed to write in their journal. So they have retrieved hundreds of journals, so I guess we'll get a lot of information.
No, you ain't gonna get no information. You're gonna get you a movie. Them stories fire.
Yes.
Somebody turn that into a movie right now.
I'm sure they said.
The one kid who did, the 17-year-old girl who did escape, she said she was working on an escape plan for 2 years. Almost.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, they could definitely make a movie out of that. It's crazy that people being held captive, getting beaten, starved to death, meanwhile you free and eating Tide Pods. Life ain't fair. Like
All right. Well, that's front page news. Kim K just released another nude pic if y'all care.
Nah.
On Instagram, no. Okay.
We've seen it.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna be honest, I ain't going to look at it right now. I said I didn't care, but I immediately did go reach.
Get it off your chest. 800
585
Sorry, Kanye.
800-585-1051. Get it off your chest. If you're upset and you need to vent, hit us up right now. Maybe you had a bad night or a bad morning. Or maybe you
blurred the titties.
Or maybe you want to spread some positivity. 800-585-1051.
Why did Chris Rock like this?
It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Hello, who's this?
It's Southside T.
Southside T. Get it off your chest, bro.
Oh, man, I'm blessed, man. I called y'all last week. Y'all telling me about hitting up the blogs and getting my music video out here, and I did it myself.
There you go.
You got your video out?
Oh, yeah, man. It's live. OMG, Southside
Can we see
T.
it?
Yes, with the best Power Range. I'm tagging everybody.
Well, tag us on Twitter. Let us see.
What's it called?
OMG, like Southside T.
What's OMG stand for?
Oh my God.
Oh, my God.
I knew that. I just thought you was going to be a little more creative and have something different maybe to say.
Oh, you watch the video. It's real creative.
Well, tag us, bro.
Oh, for sure.
Hello, who's this?
This is Jasmine.
Hey, Jasmine. Good morning.
Good morning.
Get it off your chest.
I just want to call to say I'm blessed today because this is my last third shift and I start a new job on Monday.
Hey!
Congratulations. Moving on up.
What you about to do? What's your new job?
I'm going to be working for an insurance company.
Okay. All right. Well, congrats, mama.
Hook it up. We all need insurance.
You got a man that's trapped you yet?
Something like that.
There you go. Congratulations to him. I'm happy for his promotion.
Thank you.
You get a new job, he get a new job. If he hitting it right.
All right, mama.
Thank you.
Hello, who's this?
Hey, this is Jamaica from Dayton. Good morning.
Hey, Jamaica. Get it off your chest.
Jamaica from where?
Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, Dayton. What's happening?
Get it off your chest, mama.
Hey, Angela Lee. What's up, MVP guy?
What's up,
Charlamagne with
Jamaica?
the
How are you, Queen?
I'm all right. I'm blessed this morning because I woke up, first of all. You know, you always got to count your blessings. Second, my man, now I know 4 months is not a long time to be together, but it's a long time to be together these days, you know? So it's our 4-month anniversary today. He wakes me up every morning before work, get on top of me, make sweet love to me. And this morning I try to do it to him, and he mad at me from last night. I'm like, it's our anniversary. I can't get none.
Why you mad at you from last night? What you did?
I didn't do nothing. Let me tell y'all.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
No, for real. I'm a very honest person. So yesterday, you know, we had a heated conversation. He trying to, you know, he always try to encourage me and teach me lessons and stuff because he's very intelligent. And he always try to, you know, bless me up and stuff and, you know, and give me knowledge. So he telling me some stuff. I kind of took it the wrong way. But then he goes to the flip side and say, because I told him the maintenance man tried to get me to put my number in his phone. I'm like, nah, I don't cheat. So I kept going. So he like, as soon as we get into an argument, he like, yeah, go to the maintenance man. I'm like, where did that come from? So then I slapped him. I was wrong.
You slapped him? Yeah, that's why you ain't getting nothing.
Oh
You
my
slapped
gosh.
him.
First of all, I want to tell you something. When you getting knowledge from your man, when your man tell you the white man is the devil, you listen to him, okay? And don't
You're
try to
right.
tell
I
him
didn't listen
otherwise.
to him.
Well, that's why he mad, because you slapped him.
Well, he should have told me. Well, how you gonna tell me you love me every day and love with me, and then as soon as you get mad at me, it ain't got nothing to do with nothing. I ain't never cheated. He ain't never cheated. Why would you tell me to go to the maintenance man after I told you he just tried to holler at me?
We men are emotional creatures, that's all. He probably in his mind felt like the maintenance man was coming over and knocking your back out when he wasn't around. That's all.
Plus, Jamaica, you be mad if he slapped you.
I'm sorry, Angela G. God, that's impossible because we together 90% of the time. If I'm not at work, I'm at home, and he's at home with me. So there's no way that that's happening. And he's a handyman, so he fixed stuff around the house. So it ain't no reason for him to think that.
He was just feeling insecure, but you know you can't slap him because he shouldn't be slapping you. Y'all should never get to that point.
And he'll be fine. He'll get back to that box tonight. It's Friday.
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you're upset, you need to vent. Hit us now. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Hello, who's this?
Queen, God, DJ Envy, this Fred from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, checking in with you. Good morning.
What's up, my brother?
What's up, man? Get it off your chest, bro.
Yes, sir, just a couple things real quick this morning. These young up-and-coming CHCs is getting real disrespectful, and they think it's sweet out here. We're going to have to stand on their neck a little bit harder.
the young lady from yesterday, brother.
From University of Alabama?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Up to come to CNC, we got to stand on their neck a little bit harder. And my second thing, real quick, I don't want y'all to get upset with me, and I don't know if y'all ever did this before, but a couple times a year when it's slow for y'all, I know it really ain't slow, but when it's slow for y'all, maybe y'all can invite a couple of regular peoples up there like Trav and myself and people like that if y'all could, please. Don't say no right now. Just think about it if you could. I love y'all. Y'all have a great weekend, and peace and love.
My brother, I feel like we've had everyday regular listeners up here before, though.
We've had a couple. We had Josh. We've had
Young Josh.
Yeah, Young Josh
what's
was
your man
here.
in that rap that stays in
The
the
other lady
hospital.
who came up here that you gave us something, we gave her something.
Maybe we don't do it that often.
Yeah, maybe we can do more.
Can't trust people.
Yeah. Hello, who's this?
Good morning, this is Charles, C-Boogie from the Bronx.
Charles, what up? Get it off your chest, bro.
Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, Charlamagne. Good morning, Angela.
What's
Good
up,
morning.
family?
Yo, I gotta get something off my chest because it's been bothering me for the past year, and it's indirect, and a lot of people aren't paying attention to it. Regardless of the fact what Charlamagne said, we know that these kids are stupid. We know that they're retarded. We know that they have some sort of issue. Now, doesn't matter if our freedom of speech, the censorship that's going on indirectly, that we don't see is really, something that we should be talking about, because regardless of how bigoted or how racist or how stupid you want to be, these companies are slowly tailoring what they want us to see. And that's why I'm mad today.
You think it's
Because
like
we're slowly getting our freedom of speech taken from us, and we're not even really, I think we're not focused on those little facts.
I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. I kind of agree with you, but I don't because of social media. Because of social media, people are allowed to speak as freely, probably ever. You've probably never been a time in history where people could speak this freely because of social media.
Okay, so now you're saying YouTube is taking off these idiots doing these idiotic moves, and also, there's been other stories where they're taking down things that they don't find or the rest of our culture finds inappropriate.
Well, they have
If
community
they wanna be
guidelines.
stupid, let them be stupid, but don't take the right of their freedom of stupidity.
Well, sir, they can have free speech other places, but they do have community guidelines on YouTube, and those community guidelines say they're not going to have content up that encourages dangerous activities that cause risk
Absolutely.
or physical
so remember,
harm. It's private.
YouTube is a company subsidiary of Google. Now,
Okay.
Google's whole thing was freedom. You should have the freedom, and Google's been under a lot of scrutiny, especially in the EU, because they've been tailoring to companies that they're affiliated with when you do your searching.
Listen,
So
I agree with a lot of what you're saying.
The slow fabric of our freedom of speech ripping from our hands, right in front of our eyes, and like Charlamagne said, we're supposed to be in an age of information, and we're getting stupider and stupider.
But that's because of things like this. Stupid is and stupid does. So I have no problem with these companies cutting off forms of communication that are communicating the wrong messages. I don't want kids out here eating Tide
when we
Pods.
have this conversation. But my point is, where's the game? Where's the fine line that says, you know what? If that person's stupid and retarded, okay, no problem. But you're taking the fact that he's expressing his stupidity.
Well, but these companies are privately owned. They have a right to do that. And they have a right to have community guidelines because they're not owned by the government.
But thank you for your call. We appreciate you.
I'm not arguing with nobody.
Power comes great responsibility. And the point is, they're tailoring to what they want us to see and what our culture finds deems acceptable.
Well, thank you for your call, bro.
I mean, they've been screwing us for Google and YouTube and the EU, and I'm just slowly afraid that our freedom of speech is slowly being censored because of the majority.
I'm sure you can still go on WorldStar and find it.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you for calling. Listen, if they was doing this to people who were actually saying things of substance and saying productive things that were actually, sparking positive seeds in people's brains, I'd have a problem. But you mad because they're cutting people off for making Tide Pod videos?
Yeah.
No.
I'm with you.
I don't know about that.
I'm with you.
Not at all.
They should be off. Anyway. What we got? Oh, rumors. That's right. We got rumors on the way here.
Man, let's talk about Kodak Black. He's having some more issues. I was just talking about him earlier yesterday about how he's talented, but somehow his personal life is really affecting his music business. And then this happens.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about it when we come back. Keep it locked. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We're on the Breakfast Club.
What's happening? It's Friday, goddammit. Enjoy the weekend.
It's Friday!
That's right. Well, let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Kodak.
First of all, I need you to say Kodak Black. Kodak is just Kodak by itself as a camera. Thank you.
All right. Well, little Kodak Black just got arrested in Florida. Now, his charges include grand theft of firearm.
Is that like a stolen gun?
Two charges of possession of weapon or ammo by a felon. Possession of marijuana over 20 grams. Neglect child with great bodily harm.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
That could be, I guess, he has the kids around, all that stuff.
Some of these details are not that clear. And 2 probation violation charges. So those are the 7 charges in total that he was hit with. Now, he just got released from jail in June. He served 97 days of a year-long sentence. And that's because he did these voluntary life skills course behind bars. So right now he has a 1-year house arrest sentence, and he needs a permission to go anywhere from his probation officer. He can't just travel. So if these new charges actually do happen, then he's going to really be serving some serious time. He also is awaiting to find out about these sexual conduct charges that he got indicted on back in October. That case is ongoing.
Now, I'm not the highest grade of weed in the dispensary, but if I'm on probation and if I'm on house arrest and I got sexual conduct charges still ongoing, I don't think I should have no guns in the house. I don't think I should have no drugs in the house.
Anything in the house that's illegal. Nothing in the house.
Especially stolen guns. I'm not the highest grade of weed in the dispensary, and we don't know if this...
Unless somebody else was at the house and it's theirs.
You can't come around me. I'm the breadwinner. I got all of this money. I'm on probation.
Don't have
You know
that
my
in
situation.
my house.
You can't come around me with that.
Definitely not in my house, not in any vehicle that I'm in.
And if you really love me, you wouldn't come around me with that. Unless I want it around. So therefore, he wanted around, so he made a choice, and you got to deal with the consequences of your choices.
Keep that
all right, now y'all caused some issues yet again. Diddy was on the show, and here's what he had to say about 50 Cent.
50 came up here and he was giving you flack for the asking Fab to parties. Go ahead.
Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party, you know what I'm saying?
I asked 50 about that, and he said you did the same thing to him. You asked him to take him shopping.
Yeah, I thought he needed some clothes. What? I'm a nice guy.
Yo, why are you and Fif just...
Hey, yo.
Why y'all not...
Hey, yo, I don't have no beef with Fif. He loves me.
No, I don't think he loves you.
All right, well, 50 Cent responded via Instagram. He posted a picture of himself looking somewhat menacing. And he said, "The F you say, brother love? You want to buy me some sexy clothes? And we're get your fruity ass out of here, effing punk. Den of Thieves in theaters."
I don't know why those two brothers just don't like each other. I can't figure it out. They both grind, they both work hard, they both loyal to their people.
Well, according to Diddy, 50 loves him.
Listen, yesterday Offset used the word queer. And he put the actual definition of the word queer up, right? Which was what we said yesterday.
We talked about this yesterday.
Which was weirdo, whatever. So, Diddy is happy. He spreads love, right? He's a happy guy. Gay means happy. So if 50 calls Diddy gay and Diddy calls himself happy and loving, technically neither one of them are wrong.
So what about the word fruity?
I don't got nothing to do with that. I don't know nothing about that.
What is the definition of fruity?
I had some fruity stuff the other day because it was just little. It was like a fruit roll up and it had fruit on top of it. It was like a hors d'oeuvre at an event. It was at Justin Timberlake's event actually, and that was fruity.
Let me see the definition of
fruity. So you like fruity stuff?
Yes, I do actually. I really do. I love Welch's fruit snacks. They're amazing. The grape ones and the strawberry ones. Yum, 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 yum. Great stack.
All right. Well, I'm Angela Yee, and that is you.
Y'all got to start being more specific because I'm going to start holding y'all accountable for your words. Words mean something in 2018.
Okay.
All right?
All right, when we come back, we got front page news. If you haven't heard, we'll tell you about the Tide Pod Challenge and more.
A government shutdown, which might be happening tonight.
All right, so keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Everybody, it's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. If you're watching football and your team's still playing, over the weekend the Patriots take on the Jaguars, Eagles take on the Vikings. Now let's start off with this Tide Pod Challenge for people who don't know. I haven't figured it out myself.
Well, what they're saying right now is, and I know you've seen this, is a hashtag Tide Pod Challenge. If you go online and take a look at it, kids are putting up video of themselves eating those Tide detergent pods, and YouTube has decided they are going to remove all of those dangerous videos. You will get a strike on your YouTube if you post one of those, and that hashtag has exploded. In the first 15 days of this year alone, they're saying they got the same number of calls about intentional exposures to laundry packets among teenagers as it did in the whole entire year of 2016. It used to be that kids would accidentally ingest them because they look like candy, but now kids are doing it on purpose. I don't know why.
If you're purposely eating Tide Pods, my mentality is if they die, they die.
No,
okay.
kids actually have died from
kids.
this.
So you don't listen to that.
They're making a choice.
Time
out. If you know something can kill you, and you still choose to put it in your mouth and swallow it, aren't you making a choice?
You are making a choice, but you're young and you're dumb at times.
I wouldn't say these kids, if they die, they die. No.
If they die, they die. You know, at this point in the game, if you know what Tide Pods do to you, you pop one, that's on you.
Some of these kids are 13 years old, 14 years old. They're not too
listen, how smart do you have to be to know that if you swallow a Tide Pod, you're going to die?
It's unfortunate, and I wouldn't want anybody's children to die. I wouldn't want anybody's kids to die.
Well, I don't want kids to eat Tide Pods either. And guess what? If you eat Tide Pods, guess what might happen? You're going to die.
The same thing with kids using drugs. You know, when kids use drugs, they're stupid for using drugs, but if they die, you don't want to say, well, if you die, you die.
No, false equivalency. Tide Pods. Tide Pods, ladies and gentlemen.
It's
detergent.
It's dumb. So it's okay. All dumb.
Very false equivalency.
All right, and starting tonight, we could have a government shutdown. That'll be the first time this happened since 2013. Now, right now, they do have enough votes in the House. House Republican leaders did a deal to get a 1-month spending bill, but it looks like that might not go through when it gets to the Senate. So if that does not happen, then we're just going to have a government shutdown. We don't know what that means, but you know, Donald Trump's been saying that means that we won't have any military during that time, and that's not true because the president can elect to keep certain things open, and usually they do make sure they keep the military open for that. But among the deals on the floor, you know, they're trying to make sure they get DACA bill passed and everything, and Trump and immigration people in Congress want to deal with DACA at a later date, but the Democrats want that bill to include relief for the Dreamers and those immigrants that are brought here illegally as children and were protected by DACA. They should still continue to be protected with that program. So that's one of the issues that's on the floor why Democrats aren't trying to go ahead and extend the budget.
How would y'all feel if Donald Trump ate a Tide Pod?
I think that would be good. It could clean his insides.
No, okay, all right. Okay.
You don't want the man to die, though.
Okay. See what I'm saying? See how hypocritical people are? So contradictory.
I didn't say I wanted him to die.
I didn't say I wanted him to die.
Okay, yeah, all right.
People get hospitalized. It doesn't mean they die.
Okay. Right.
I feel like he wouldn't.
All right. See?
But nobody should be eating Tide Pods.
But if they do, they do. And if they die, they die.
I didn't say all that.
My goodness. All right. Well, that's front page news. All right. When we come back,
yes,
Toure will be joining us. Explain to the people who Toure is.
Toure is a journalist. He's also an author. He has several books out. And
I read one of his books before. He had a book called
it's a compilation of essays that you
How to Drink the Kool-Aid or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's called Never Drink the Kool-Aid. Yeah, he has a book about Prince. I Would Die for You. It was called, and yeah. Anyway, Toure is a TV host. He had a show on MSNBC. He's a writer. He's a musical critic. He was a host of Fuse's Hip Hop Shop. A lot of different things that he did.
All right, so we'll kick it with him when we come back. Don't move. Keep it locked.
And he's from Brooklyn, like me.
What that mean?
He's very proud of being from Brooklyn.
Oh, okay. Queens is better. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Well, the borough of Queens, I mean.
We know.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building. Toure!
Toure!
Welcome, son.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Toure, you know, growing up, I've always watched you because you have been on the end of some very memorable interviews.
Yes. Here you go. Like which one?
Nah, I mean, the Jay-Z and Nas, you know what I mean? Yep. When Jay-Z called Cam a snitch.
Yep.
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly for sure.
Yep. He just would not admit that he liked teenage girls.
That was a classic one.
Both of those at BET.
Yes. That's when BET had a strong focus on journalism.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I just telling you that I enjoyed them. That's all.
I mean, you've been in those sort of moments too, and you know it's a big moment. You know before you walk in the door, the culture is going to be watching. R. Kelly had just come off of a trial. Jay-Z and Nas had just come together after a long battle. you know the culture's watching. You feel a certain pressure. I think like an athlete going into a playoff game, like this is a big moment. You know you got to perform. You know you got to get it out. With Jay-Z and Nas, it just flowed. They were great. You know what I mean? I was honored the whole thing. They talked to Sway, and then they drove down the street and talked to me, and that was it. And I was like, this is an honor. With R. Kelly, I thought I didn't get it. I thought that I didn't get him saying the thing that I wanted him to say. Like,
but you know what?
Well, no,
but him not saying those things was kind of important. The way that he tried to evade, but it still was awkward and crazy.
I mean, in the moment, it felt like they didn't get it. Now, when we saw it, it was like, oh, wow. And I also thought they were going to cut that out.
Really?
I thought they were going to cut that out. BET only aired that once.
Really?
Yeah,
R. Kelly called
had
so much power
and was like, we're not going to rock with you anymore if you air it again. You sat for the interview.
Right.
We didn't ambush you like 60 minutes. You came and sat down. We had a conversation in a hotel. I mean, what you don't see is the conversation is devolving as we're going on. It did not end with like a handshake and I'll see you later, man. You know, like you have that intimate discussion with a man, especially, and like, yo, you know, you kind of closer. I remember toward the end, I was like, yo, can you tell your fans this will not happen again? And he's like, oh, yeah, this interview will never happen again.
Wow, but
and
I'm definitely going to be on a little girl again.
Yeah, when we finished, like, I went that way, he went that way, and we're like, oh.
But what do you think was going to happen in that interview? Wow. I mean, you have to say, you know, did he not think those things would come up?
I mean, he was there with a crisis manager. And in the moment that we're talking about, I asked him, do you like underage girls? Which was just a softball just to get into the issue, right? I mean, that's the easiest question in the world. Right. Even if you're a maniac, you'd be like, no.
Right. Even if you do, you're going to still say, no, I don't.
No. And the crisis manager jumped up and said, you can't ask him that. And he said, no, I got this. And so then, I work for you. So then he sat down. And if you watch it closely, I start to say, but then, something in my head, I started to say underage. And something in my head said, he gonna be able to slide out of that. Just say teenage. Just go from there.
So why come when he rebutted and said, what do you mean by teenage, why didn't you say underage?
Because I didn't want him to get that out of like, no, I don't mess with 14, 13-year-old girls, right? He'd already intimated something like that. And I'm like, I'm not having a discussion about 14, 13, 12, because you like 14, 15, 16. I mean, like.
Allegedly.
Does it make you?
I don't even want to go with allegedly no more. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy that he still has a career. Duh, isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't it?
And with all these new allegations coming up about him and all these new stories, everybody's referring back to that interview.
We saw the tape.
I mean, you know, all I did was ask him a question that America wanted to ask him.
Right. How could you not?
And your facial expressions were classic.
Well, see, that's part of the thing, too, is that I was trying to not let him and the crisis manager know that they messed up. Can I curse here?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was trying to let them know they f***ed up, right? I didn't want them to know they f***ed up, right? And sometimes you have to do that in an interview of, like, not let the person know they just played themselves, right? Because if you as an interviewer are like, oh, then they're like, oh, make sure we cut that out, da-da-da-da. Right. If you're just like, cool, then they may not realize they just stepped in it.
It's a new era now, though, so if they play themselves, they know we're not cutting it out. Because they can't have, they don't have that kind of leverage no more. Oh, we're not going to come up there no more, so? We're not going to do this if y'all don't sew?
I mean, I hope so. You know what I mean? I hope so. A lot of, even when you have a situation where you're on a label and there's 4 or 5 other people on the label, and we might want to get at 2, 3, 4 of those other people. And if you piss me off with this one, you're not going to get the other. That's kind of how some of the leverage works.
Labels don't have that kind of power.
Not anymore. Back then, yes. Absolutely back then.
But don't it make you lose respect for BET, though? At that time?
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's like, y'all are choosing this guy over actually, like getting the word out about pedophilia and underage.
I mean,
protecting him.
His audience are literally the people that he is choosing to molest, rape, whatever else you want to call it. So they are choosing to protect him and remain in business with him, even though we know that he's a monster. We know what he's doing to these young girls. Yeah, no, I thought that was incredibly wimpy. That, like, we aired it once, and now we're just going to not air it again. This was a massive success for them as a show. You remember, the whole country was like, can't wait to see this. You know, my Twitter was it Twitter then?
No,
my MySpace was blowing up. My God,
Maybe
I was
Black
on,
Planet.
I was on Black Planet. Remember Omar and them? I was on Black Planet. Hell yeah.
That was years ago.
Maybe your Friendster?
Wasn't no
My
social media.
Friendster. But can we talk about the podcast for a second?
Yes, of course, that's what we're here for.
Okay. It's called Toure Show. It's about success. I'm having like hour-long one-on-one conversations with successful people, mostly successful black people, just dealing with how did you become successful? What are the tactics? What are the attitudes? What are the things you know that helped you get up the mountain? Just talked to Spike Lee. This week is Patrice Cullors. We got Joy Reid coming up. Black Thought coming up. We've had Maxwell and RZA and Nikki Giovanni and Reggie Hudlin. Just like, how do you do what you do? And you start to see what people are saying to themselves and what they're doing and how they're getting themselves up the mountain. It's really, really interesting.
Have you ever been intimidated interviewing anyone?
Have I ever been intimidated?
Like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is Prince. Or something.
I mean, I interviewed Prince, but it wasn't, Angie, I mean,
me and you have that in common because we're huge Prince fans.
Huge Prince fans. But I mean, like, you interview a bunch of celebrities and that sort of goes away, right? And you get more suffused with like the responsibility of getting a good interview out of this person because we have a finite amount of time. Mm-hmm. I have to get this good.
What do you care about relationships? Because some people don't want to ask people certain things because of their relationships with the person.
I mean, that hasn't been a problem for me for a while. I mean, there was a time when I was at Rolling Stone, I was in the thick of it, and it was like, I need Def Jam every week. I need Uptown. I need Bad Boy. So if I really piss you off. But then again, they would probably be like, nah, dude, you were the dude who would say anything. Yeah. So here's the thing, right? I interviewed 50 Cent at BET, okay? Some of this I take personally, right? And I remember this is before, I interviewed him for Rolling Stone, right, when he first came out, and he was huge. And the steroids thing in baseball had not happened. So it didn't occur to me, you can't get that big just naturally, just lifting. So then I interviewed him at BET, and I was like, and the steroids thing had happened in baseball, so I was like, you do steroids? And he was like, he got very upset. And like, my nutritionist is in the right next room, he travels me everywhere, how dare you ask me that? 6 months later, the story in the New York Times came out. Timbaland, Mary, and 50 get their steroids from this doctor in Westchester. And I'm just like, why are you lying to me? If you're not a professional athlete, there's nothing wrong with doing steroids. So when I talked to him for Fuse, I'm sitting there with him for like 45 minutes. And here come the little devil on my shoulder. What's the matter? Ask him the question. What's the matter? And the other one's like, no, they're going to be pissed. And the other one's like, what is he going to do? What is the matter with you? Ask him. So I'm like, yo, look, when we was at BET, you said da-da-da-da, and then this report came out. You're not a professional athlete. There's nothing wrong with you doing steroids. Why don't you just tell us you do steroids? What's the big deal? And I could hear his people in the background like rumbling, like, what the hell is he doing? Mm-hmm. And he leaned back and he just laughed like that devil laugh that he has. And I was like, oh, here we go. And he said, a lot of rappers say you're an asshole, but I just say you ask difficult questions. And that was the end of that. He was like, I'm not talking. So sometimes you see they're just not going to answer the question. And I put myself out there, right. And he may never talk to me again. And I totally would understand that. So, you may put yourself out there and then the person's like, well, I'm just not going to answer the question.
I got to ask you now, as a difficult question, what happened at MSNBC?
Oh, that's not a difficult question. Okay. A new president came in, Andy Lack, and he wanted to do things his way. Mm-hmm. We were doing well as a show. We weren't killing it, but we didn't have bad ratings. We had good ratings. And he wanted to do things differently. And so you see there was an opinionated afternoon block of Joy Reid, very progressive, and then us, very progressive, and then Alex Wagner, very progressive. And he was like, I want the daytime to be more politically flat. So now you have folks who are great hosts, Hallie Jackson, Katie Toure, but they are not political themselves. They're not ideological themselves. And that's what he wanted. I loved that show. It was so great. It was everything. I mean, Angela, I have never cried like that. Like, as soon as the red light went off for the last time, I went on Crystal's shoulder and I cried and I was like, this is the best job I've ever had.
I really enjoyed watching you on there. That's why it was difficult. I didn't think.
Thank you.
Let's switch gears for a second, since obviously we know you as a music journalist and a political journalist. This Me Too movement and everything that's been going on with that, and with the music business, with the film industry, because you're a big film buff too. What do you think about everything that's been happening with these women coming forward? Some of these allegations. Did you read Aziz Ansari?
Well, I want to go back. Of course, we read the Aziz thing, but I want to go back just a little bit in the Me Too history. I mean, we're friends with Russell. Like, I know you are. I know you are. I mean, like, I'm friends. He was at my wedding, and it hurt my heart to hear that story come out. I mean, you know, and I can't say it's wrong. I met Kimora when she was 16. But she was hanging out with him. She wasn't hanging out with me. We were in the Hamptons at a dinner, and like...
I thought she was 17.
I remember her being 16.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you know, and I mean, either way...
I think he's saying they knew each other, because Russell has said they knew each other, but nothing happened. That's what he said.
I don't know what that means.
Right.
That Russell, nothing happened. I mean, and nobody said anything. Why is Russell showing up to lunch in the Hamptons with a 16-year-old girl? I mean... you know.
Did you think anything at the time?
And not at the time, and I know Drew Dixon. I know Drew Dixon for a long time. I know she's 100% straight up and down. I mean, I'm like, the first name in the New York Times story is Drew, my friend, Drew Dixon. Oh my God, my mother, you know, super honest person. Like, it hurt me to know that was going on. Because, I mean, I've rarely worked in an office in my career anyway. So, you know, I didn't know what was going on in terms of that.
And a lot of these things didn't happen in the office, too.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Drew's talking about getting, like, chased around the office and, like, dude come into her office and she had to tell somebody else, like, save me from our boss. Like, it, you know, it hurt me, and you know.
What do you think should happen to Russell now? Because he stepped down from his businesses, obviously somebody you know well. Do you think that now his legacy is tarnished and people shouldn't work with him?
Well, he's saying it's not true, correct?
He is saying that, but I mean, like, his legacy is dead.
But don't you think that's f***ed up, though?
Do I think it's f***ed up that he raped tons of people?
Wait, whoa. Slow down, money. All right, here's the thing. There's no due process. No. It's all. And I'm not discrediting the people accusing him, but I'm not going to discredit Russell either. Like, what happened to due process?
I mean, you know, we can have due process in a court of law, but when Drew Dixon comes to me and said, not me literally, but through the and says, Russell raped me, and this is what happened. I'm like, I'm not gonna sell. I don't need to know anything more. I know Drew Dixon.
But
I know who she is.
You know that she wouldn't lie. And you feel like herself.
Yes, and she's incredible detail in the story. I'm like, yo.
But if Russell Simmons says that didn't happen like that,
but you said
why are you not even taking Russell into account at all? That's my whole problem.
Because I can't imagine Drew, and I'm fixated on her because she's the only one I know. If she was alone, then it would be like, but like it's 10 or 15 against one, and the other ones I don't know, I never heard of, but I know.
And I feel you on that, because if one of my really good friends came to me and said, "This is what happened to me," I would believe them.
Yeah, but you're believing them on because that's your friend, not because.
No, but he's saying he knows her character.
But you're believing that because that's your friend, not because that's
his legacy is dead. His legacy's dead.
Which is wrong.
You can't. No, it's not wrong. What are you talking about? He's a mass rapist. He's a monster. You're eliminating. No, we have due process in a court of law. You can be innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
So why should you be sentenced in the court of public opinion? Then? The court of public opinion should be able to take you out. If somebody comes out tomorrow and says Toure raped me in the '90s, automatically we should just be like, oh, you know what? Dismiss Toure and everything he's done.
I mean, that's what would happen.
That's not
right. Well, you are getting at some of the challenges that we're having in this thing, and I'm totally with you.
No, you're not. You're reinforcing by saying he's a mass rapist.
I'm with you in the general sense of we're talking about this thing, and there is a challenge when one person gets to speak. There's no due process. I'm with you on that. I just want to locate it on the specific case of Russell, who has been with a lot of people. Apparently, there's a lot of people saying he raped them.
I don't know what
It's
Russell
disgusting.
Did. And
It's frightening.
I'm not discrediting anybody. I'm just saying, like, and I'm glad. That's why I was glad when I think they said that they were going to pursue criminal charges, maybe.
Yeah.
And even in New York Times story, right? Amanda Seals, who another person who I've known for a very long time, when she was Amanda Diva. She talked
We all
about
know her pretty well.
she talked about they're in a meeting with Russell, and he's like, "Did I have sex with you?" I am 100% sure I've heard him say that to other people.
I'm
like,
sure that happened.
Is it demeaning? Is it, like reducing her? Is it like completely ruining a potential business meeting? 100%. I mean, like, nothing that's being said is out of the realm of possibility. If somebody said something that you were like, that just does not compute with everything I know about that person. That's my man, and I know that's not him. Okay, you can go with that. But are we saying that about Russell? Are you saying that these things are like unthinkable about Russell?
To be honest, I'm not saying that about nobody. I don't care who it was. Like, if a woman comes to me and says such and such raped me, I'm not going to discredit that man. I'm not going to discredit her either. I'm going to be like, well, wait and see what the facts are. The problem I have is that there's no due process in the court of public opinion, and people's reputations are being ruined. People are losing careers just based off.
I am with you on that. Again, on the entirety of this whole thing, I'm with you on that. It's a very difficult part of it to deal with. Something that we have to deal with to get some of the truth and reconciliation out. Yeah. But, man.
When does the podcast start?
The podcast comes out every Wednesday.
Where they can find you on Twitter and all that stuff, too?
On Twitter, at Toure, at Toure, on Instagram, at Toure Show. Check out the podcast,
No
Toure
last
Show.
name, people.
No last name.
It's the Breakfast Club. It's Toure. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Cardi B versus Beyonce.
Well, Billboard has said that Cardi B is the first woman to have 5 of the top 10 spots on the hot R&B hip-hop charts. So Beyonce used to hold the throne with 4. Now Cardi B has surpassed her.
Drop on the clues bombs for Cardi B.
Those 5 songs are obviously the song you just heard, G-Eazy. Also the song with Bruno Mars, Finesse. Also Migos and Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, Motorsport. Also Bartier Cardi and Bodak Yellow. Those songs are number 10, 7, 4, 3, and 1.
It's a pleasure to watch, man. Somebody sent me an old interview Cardi B did here on the Breakfast Club. It was her first time up here. And I told her, and she keeps doing what she's doing. In 2 years, she'll be making a lot of money. And that was like 2 years ago. So salute to Cardi B. I wouldn't even put an album out at this point.
Well, Cardi B also has a documentary on Tidal. It's called I'm Here, MFers. And she talks about coming up in the industry, as she is also headlining the Tidal Moschino Party at Art Basel back in 2017. Here's the trailer for that.
Me being from the Bronx and being here in Art Basel, when I was on the plane, I was like, yo, I have come a long ass way. It makes me feel like I'm here, mother.
Man, it's a pleasure to watch. Seriously, would you put out an album if you was Cardi B? I just drop singles at this point.
She could drop singles, but she wants to. She wants to put out a body of work.
Yeah, body of work.
Yeah. I guess you want to, but I'm just saying, do you have to in this generation?
Nobody has to.
Yeah, you don't have to.
But it's a nice accomplishment as an artist to put out a great body of work and say that your album is one of the best albums. You want to have an album still.
I would put out my first album. Then after that, I just keep putting down singles. It don't really matter after the first album.
Because I feel like an album is supposed to be kind of like putting out a movie.
But you know what? Nobody cares anymore.
Cohesive. They do care.
No,
it
people
depends
don't really
if it's
buy
a great album's still a great album.
People rather buy singles. They'll stream singles. They'll stream.
Because I think it's not just about the streams. It's also about how you go down in history. Like, did she have the highest selling album?
She already made history, though.
Yeah, but that's why I think it's important to put out an album. You have all these great songs doing well. You want to have a great album, I would say, as an artist. All right, now Kim Kardashian versus Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom was on Man Cave, and he had this to say about how he knew things were over between him and Khloe Kardashian.
I still got my shorty name still on me. I mean, her initials still on me. But for no reason. You know what I'm saying? I understand when it's over, it's over.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? And when she was with her second or third NBA ball player, you know, I can see that. You know what I'm saying?
What about when you was on your second or third crack bench? Like,
well,
come on, man.
That's what Kim
What are we talking about?
Kardashian said on Twitter when somebody posted that. She retweeted it and said, or second or third brothel.
Yeah, you can't insult your ex-wife when you was out here smoking whole rocks, bro.
Right.
Like, stop it,
I think he
man.
said he wasn't trying to insult her. He was saying that she really dated a couple of basketball players after me. That's how he knew he couldn't get back in.
So why not? If you love her, you love her. If you feel like that's yours, that's yours. That's like her saying, I can't get back with you because you used to be a crackhead.
She probably said that.
Yeah,
She probably did.
That's a terrible example.
She probably did say that. But I mean, people have gotten back with their man after they've been rehabilitated, is what I'm saying.
All right, now Kim Kardashian also said that using a surrogate was so hard for her. She said, it's definitely different. Anyone who says or thinks it's the easy way out is completely wrong. People assume it's better because you don't have to deal with the physical changes, pain, or complications with delivery. But for me, it was so hard to not carry my own child, especially after I carried North and Saint. So she said she's grateful for modern technology and that it's even possible. But she does have an instant connection with the baby.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what oven the food's cooked in, as long as the food's good.
Yeah, so she still feels like...
It's my ingredients.
Right.
My
All right.
recipe.
Jada Pinkett Smith has gotten a Facebook talk show, and that's going to be with her daughter Willow and also her mother Adrienne. So she's going to be voicing her opinions on a number of different issues. She signed that deal already, and she's going to produce it discussing current social and cultural issues. It's called Red Table Talks.
We'll drop on the clues bombs for Facebook and the Smiths.
So that's 3 different generations. Should be pretty exciting.
I like when I see people using new platforms, not going to regular networks and stuff like that.
Now, speaking of regular networks, Tracy Ellis Ross, she is considering perhaps cutting back on her appearances on Blackish because of the pay gap between her and Anthony Anderson. Now, she's, I guess, in contract negotiations, and she's trying to use her role as leverage. She is a star on Blackish, and she's saying she might appear in fewer episodes if she can't get a higher salary that reflects her contribution. So,
well, I'm sure she'll definitely get a higher salary, but she won't get paid as much as Anthony Anderson.
well, yeah, he's a producer.
He's the executive
on the show.
producer. He helped develop the show. Like,
Yeah,
I saw that conversation happening yesterday, and everybody's trying to make it like a gender wage gap thing. But no, you got to look at the whole situation. Anthony Anderson helped develop the show. He's an executive producer, and he's the star of the show.
They better not Aunt Vivo. They better not. We look up and there be another one in there. They better not.
Well, yeah, she's not saying she wants to leave. I guess she's saying, all right, my contributions will reflect my salary. If I don't get a higher salary,
I'm sure she'll get a higher salary.
Yeah, this is renegotiation. That's what she got to do.
Usually when they do those TV deals, they're 3 to 5 year deals. If I'm not mistaken, this is like the 5th year of Blackish, so she's probably on her contract renegotiation.
and she deserves a lot more. She did get a Golden Globe for Best Actress in a Comedy for Blackish.
Yeah.
And she was the first black woman to win that award since 1982.
And don't get it twisted. This is all a game for her as well. Like, hey, I'm not going to do as many episodes, and they're going to say, okay, well, we want to make you happy.
All right, you sit there. They might on Vivo for real.
She deserves it, though.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, of course. She's definitely going to get a raise. She's not going to make as much as Anthony, but she's going to get a significant raise.
All right, well, I'm Angela Yee, and that's your rumor report.
All right, thank you, Miss Yee. Charlamagne!
Yes.
Who you giving that donkey to?
We need Kodak Black to come to the front of the congregation. I'd like to have a word with the young man, Kodak
Kodak.
Black.
He can't make it to the front of the congregation right now, brother. But
he can hear me.
All right, we'll give it to him when we come back. Keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Donkey today for Friday, January 19th goes to young Kodak Black, okay? I have always enjoyed Kodak Black's music, even though when he talks and raps, he sounds like lawn equipment. He sounds just like lawn equipment. They want to see you in a penitentiary. I need a little baby who's gonna listen. That boy be snapping though, okay? And one of my favorite records from Kodak is Tunnel Vision, because I don't care what age you are, you can relate to that sentiment in that song. All right, let me hear some of that amazing record, please.
Kodak, they don't like to see you winning.
They don't want to see you winning. They want to see you in the penitentiary. I need me a little baby who gonna listen.
I like Kodak Black music.
I like Kodak Black's music too, okay? But Kodak Black didn't take his own advice, ladies and gentlemen, because he's back in jail. Let's go to WPLG ABC for the report, please.
Rap star Kodak Black is back behind bars right here in South Florida. BSO deputies arrested the rapper, whose real name is D.O.T.D. Records show the 20-year-old is now facing charges that include grand theft of a firearm, possession of marijuana, and child neglect. In October of last year, Kodak Black was indicted in South Carolina after being extradited from Florida to face first-degree criminal sexual conduct.
Now, let's unpack this because everything can't be blamed on youth because Kodak Black is 20 years old and he's been in trouble with the law before. All right, in fact, he was serving a 1-year house arrest sentence where he needed permission from his probation officer and the court before traveling anywhere. Kodak was also indicted on sexual conduct charges in October and the case is ongoing. Not to mention, Kodak Black has a rap career, ladies and gentlemen. Kodak Black was making money out here in these streets. You can't write a song like Tunnel Vision, speaking on how they want to see you in the penitentiary and then do things or be around things that land you back in the penitentiary. Let me read you what Kodak Black got hit with. Now, keep in mind, he's on house arrest and he's on probation, okay? Listen to these charges. Grand theft of a firearm. That's like a stolen gun. 2 charges of possession of weapons or ammo by a felon. Possession of marijuana over 20 grams. Child neglect with great bodily harm. I don't even know what that means. And 2 probation violation charges. Now, I'm not the highest grade of weed in the dispensary, but if I'm on house arrest and probation, and I know they want to see me in the penitentiary, then why am I helping they put me in there? All right, there's absolutely no excuse for this. And hey, if someone says, well, the stuff they found wasn't even Kodak Black's, okay, even still, if you all know my situation, all my people around me, y'all know I'm on house arrest, y'all know I'm on probation, don't come around me with guns and drugs because you know that's a probation violation. Even if I don't know better, I need you to know better for me. Okay, I'm the breadwinner, I'm the leader. If I tell you to bring some weed to the house, if I tell you to bring me a pistol, if you really love me, tell me no. Yeah, I might curse you out and say I'm not rocking with you no more, but I'll come back around eventually because here's the thing that yes men seem to not understand. You're trying to protect your position by doing everything this artist wants you to do, but when those things he wants you to do threaten that artist's freedom or his life, you have to tell him no because guess what? If that artist goes to jail, if that artist dies, guess what, yes man? You don't have a position anymore anyway, okay? I guarantee right now Kodak Black is sitting in that cell thinking about all the people around him who told him no, all the people he probably got mad at over the years that was telling him change his ways before he blows everything. I bet Kodak is thinking about all those people wishing he would have listened. I wish Kodak Black the best. I don't like to see anyone incarcerated, but he made conscious decisions to break the law, and he knew what the consequences of his actions would be. Or maybe he didn't. Okay, I'm sure him and people close to him are saying things right now like God don't make no mistakes. Everything happens for a reason. And this is a minor setback for a major comeback. Well, no, it's not. It's not a minor setback. It's a major setback. A possible I may not be home until I'm in my 40s setback. And if you are in Kodak Black's team and Kodak Black says to you, everything happens for a reason, tell him you're right. But sometimes the reason is that you're stupid and you make bad decisions. Please give Kodak Black the biggest hee-haw, please. All right. Hey, man, there's consequences to your actions out here in these streets. You kids gonna learn that the hard way.
I hope he fixes up. All right. Well, thank you for that donkey today.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we come back, let's talk these sex dolls that everybody's been talking about recently.
Oh, man, they have been going crazy with these sex dolls. And
now, they look real.
Very realistic.
They look real.
It's a little creepy.
All right, well, let's do this the right way. It's Friday, so you know what that means.
It's Freaky Friday! And I also would like to say this guy named Q Abercrombie, he put out a post. He said a dude who will have sex with a sex doll will have sex with an unresponsive drunk woman and doesn't take no for a final answer. Shut your dumb ass up.
That's ridiculous.
Shut your dumb ass up forever.
That sounds stupid.
No.
That's like saying as a man, if you masturbate, you let another man
jerk you off?
You can't say that.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, hey, relax. Stop. Okay. All right.
He said relax like I'm about to touch him or something. Relax. Stop.
I just saw hands start reaching towards me. I'm like, stop, relax.
No, I touched you.
I thought y'all was trying to show me that.
No, we're not showing you nothing, all right?
Other hands feel good too. I don't know. I just saw 2 hands reaching towards me.
But you do have to have some money to buy one of these dolls.
How much they run for?
$2,000.
Wow, Envy. Okay, you knew that off the top of your head.
Our camera guy told me. 800-585-1051. Just a question.
Envy's like, and with shipping, it comes to $22.
Would you buy a sex doll?
Prostitutes are way cheap.
But you can have it forever.
Prostitute one time.
It's an investment.
Doll, you
have it forever.
Prostitutes are way cheaper.
And dirtier.
Oh, you.
Well, I don't know if a prostitute get mad if I said it. Well,
I don't know.
Allegedly,
that'd be funny if it was a bunch of prostitutes outside protesting in front of the station. I'd pay to see that. That'd be hilarious. Their signs would be fire.
So 800-585-1051. Would you get a sex doll? And if you did, what would you want it to look like?
Who would you want it to look like?
Or who would you want it to
look like?
Envy's gonna say Maxwell.
Y'all trying to get people on punishment this weekend.
800-585-1051.
Y'all trying to ruin lives.
Would you get a sex doll, and who would you want it to look like? Call us up right now. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. It's Friday, so you know what that means.
It's Freaky Friday!
The last couple of days, everybody's been talking about these sex dolls. If you've seen it on social media, it's these human-sized dolls that look real. Now, they're saying the dolls cost up to what, $2,000 to $5,000. Mm-hmm. And we're asking, would you get a sex doll out there? And if you did, what celebrity would you want it to look like? Now, Yee, would you get a sex doll?
I think it's different for a woman because we don't need the whole doll. Like all we need is
you just need one accessory.
Yeah. All we need is a dildo or a vibrator. Nobody needs a whole
Men can say the
doll.
same thing. We just need a hole. We don't need a full doll.
No, because y'all like to do other stuff too, and you probably need 2 holes, 3 holes.
Envy just said he need a hole. He don't care what hole.
You know what?
He don't care what hole it is. He just need a hole. Somebody please present Envy with a hole.
Oh, you stupid.
All right? Wow.
Oh, you stupid.
A brown eye is a brown eye. Wow.
So Charlamagne, would you get a sex doll, and what celebrity would you want your sex doll to look like?
First of all, I'm not answering the second part of that question. 'Cause I don't know if my wife's in the car or not. But if I did, it would be Patti LaBelle, though, honestly. My wife knows that. It would be Patti LaBelle. Love Patti LaBelle.
Didn't Patti LaBelle's son already check you over there?
Yo, you are crazy.
You asked me a question, I answered it.
Yeah, check you again.
See, what's Patty, 7 years old?
So what?
You are crazy.
Patty's amazing
So
looking.
you want Patty's pies?
Listen, all I'm saying is Patty can be fully clothed. I might put the doll in the kitchen just to
The
be
sex
there.
dolls don't come
It's a
with
sex
clothes,
doll.
Charlamagne.
They don't come with clothes.
So, I don't think I'll buy a sex doll. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see the need for it. I'm not into toys like
I'm
that.
married. I'm married.
Nah, me and
Well,
my wife.
maybe you could get a Maxwell sex doll.
Shut up.
Your wife and Maxwell.
All right,
Me and my wife use I use the dildo in the bedroom on her.
I use the dildo.
Wait a minute.
Shut up, man. Jesus Christ. I definitely use
Envy
it
and
on her.
Charlamagne. Wow.
I use it on her, but I don't see the need for the doll. Like I don't
You just
get.
want the dildo.
I just don't understand what
Me and
pleasure
Charlamagne are
the
here.
doll brings. What pleasure does the doll bring for a man?
I guess you can have anybody that you want is kind of the thinking of it. You know, maybe you have a doll that looks like someone you've always had a crush on. And somebody to sleep with that night if you're really lonely.
Yeah, if you're alone, I think that's for really a lonely person that could just pull a doll out the closet and just be like, just go in and then
I got a
put the doll
vivid
back.
imagination. I'm good.
But who cleans up the doll after? Because
You clean it up.
Nah. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, who's this?
Chris.
Chris. Now, would you get a sex doll, Chris?
For nothing, man. It seems like this stuff is crazy that's going on in the world, dog. Like, you got all this stuff like rape and all this stuff going on. I don't know if that's a way of making money to stop the people from doing that. But that's that's ridiculous. I know Charlamagne would buy one of them Jones, dog.
No, Charlamagne would not.
So you said rape is going on and Charlamagne
He
would
probably
buy
got
one.
like 2 pre-orders. He got 1 white, 1 black, dog. Stop
You know your uncle, huh? No, I ain't got no goddamn doll.
Bernicia.
Yeah.
Now, if you wasn't married, Bernicia, you would get a sex doll. Who would it be? Who would it look like?
Tyrese. It'd be a crying doll. It comes with
stupid.
No, I have a thing for Morris Chestnut.
Oh, okay. All right.
Charlamagne looks nothing like Morris Chestnut. Tell him right now.
Oh, what you mean?
What you clearing your throat for, Charlamagne? It ain't got nothing to do with you. She said
I'm
Morris
just saying,
Chestnut.
all I'm saying is the Charlamagne doll and the Morris Chestnut doll may resemble.
No, they don't.
All right, and no assembly required. I'm just saying.
Thank you, Mama. Reggie!
You
said you would get a sex doll, Reggie?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, why and who would it look like?
Why? Because, okay, I'm 29, and I was having this conversation with an older gentleman who's in their 50s. We were just sitting there like, yo, this is crazy. But we sat there and broke it down. We was like, through time, if you're constantly paying for, the cash, this would save you so much money.
So you paid for prostitutes before, Reggie. That's what it sounds like.
No, I never had to, but I could understand why people do.
Oh, no, well, prostitutes and sex dolls are 2 different things. I'm sorry, man. I'm a Cancer. I'm sensitive and emotional. I need something to love me back.
Oh, my goodness.
This doll could love you back.
No, it doesn't. I need to feel the warm touch.
That's all. Charlamagne, I understand that, but that's in your mind.
What you mean that's in my mind?
Well, who would it look like? Who would it look like, bro?
Who would it look like? Of course, Nicki Minaj. Somebody thick. I need thickness.
All right,
All
Nicki
right.
Minaj,
All right,
sex
Nicki Minaj,
doll.
okay.
I
All
can
right,
see
bro.
that.
It's thick prostitutes.
800-585-1051. Would you get a sex doll? And if you did, who would it look like? Call us now. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Everybody, it's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We're talking sex dolls this morning. Well, let's do this right. It's Friday, so you know what that means.
It's Freaky, Freaky, Freaky Friday!
And we're talking sex dolls. Would you get a sex doll? And if you did, who would it look like? Charlamagne said he would, and it would look like Patti LaBelle.
No, I didn't say I would get a sex doll. I said I wouldn't get a sex doll, but if I did get a sex doll, it would look like Patti LaBelle, because I think Patti LaBelle is amazing. But I just don't see the need for a sex doll, because I'm a Cancer, bro. I'm sensitive. I'm emotional. I like touching. I like hugging. I like, affection. I like cuddling. I can't be with no doll.
Actually, maybe I'll get a sex doll. I'll make it look like my boyfriend, so when he's not here, he could just sleep in the bed like him.
That's hot.
And we could cuddle.
What? He's not going to cuddle back.
And then we could FaceTime him.
You know what? That's kind of creepy, too. All right, let's go to Lynetta.
Good morning.
Now, Lynetta, you said you would get a sex doll?
Yes, I did, DJ Envy. How is everybody? Good morning, good morning.
How are you?
Hey, you sound like you would get a sex doll. You sound happy.
Girl, good morning. And you know who it would be? I'm just going to keep it real. No disrespect to Savannah. It would be King James.
LeBron. Okay, you get you a little LeBron. Now, would he have hair or no hair?
Yeah, what that hairline would look like, though.
it got to be filled in now, Charlamagne.
Then that's not realistic. That ain't LeBron you with, then.
My goodness. Thank you, Mom.
Well,
you can draw his hairline in the way you draw your eyebrows in.
Drew.
Yo.
You wouldn't get a doll?
No way I'll get the way. Let me rephrase that. I would get a doll, but right now I wouldn't get a doll because there's no way to clean them. After I bust a nut, I gotta clean it.
Okay, so maybe what if they could put something in there like a filter or something that is removable, like a cup, and you can take it out.
If there was some type of self-cleaning system in it, like a filter I change once a week, maybe.
And that's why vaginas are great, because they're already self-cleaning.
Because I went to even Little Duval's page. I'm looking at this sex doll. She could get it.
It looks like it's a doll out there in the lobby right now. Who's that woman that just walked in here?
Be quiet.
That might be her.
Don't you harass.
It's a woman just walked in here with an afro. She looked like a beautiful
That's
doll.
Amala La Negra from Love and Hip Hop Miami.
Who is this you just say? Talking about? Who?
All right. All right, no. La Negra. Anyway. Hello, who's this?
This is Edo.
Edo, it sounds like you would get a sex doll, Edo.
Nah, not at all, bro.
Why not?
Nah, because for one, you know what I'm saying, just like I can't compete with a vibrator against my woman, I don't want my woman to compete with no sex doll, you know what I'm saying?
It's not a competition, though.
And why do guys always say they can't compete with vibrators?
I'd rather have my man than a vibrator any day.
Stop buying big vibrators.
Yo, but on some real, you know what I'm saying, I think, you know what I'm saying, I just like to keep it real, you know what I'm saying? Like I like my food natural, I want my woman natural, you know what I'm saying? I think that's for unattractive jokers that can't get a woman, that's all.
You don't want no tofu poom poom.
What if your girl wanted to have a threesome with you and a doll?
No GMO poom poom, organic.
She gonna start using puppets and
All right, bro. All right.
Considering it.
My goodness.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I think this is some kind of population control. They don't want us to breed, bro. I just feel like the way social media is making people socially awkward, these dolls will do the same.
My goodness. All right. Well, what's the moral of the story?
There is no moral of the story. This is very immoral, actually.
Oh, my goodness. We got rumors on the way.
Yes, we are going to talk about 50 Cent and his new project. They have a trailer, and we'll give you some more information about his new show.
All right, we'll get into all that when we come back. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
You know what's crazy?
What's crazy?
Like when I'm at work, I be on Twitter, because I don't really be on Twitter when I'm not at work, and I'm going through my timeline, and I'm like, why they send me all these pictures of women? And I'm looking at all these girls and all this TNA and all kind of stuff, and I'm like, oh, these are dolls. I didn't even realize they were dolls.
Oh, you're
no,
for real. I was just
dolls.
looking at the male sex dolls. They're not there yet with those men.
Don't fall for the okie doke. Are you not there yet?
No.
The men don't look like?
They look very creepy. They look like... and they also look lazy.
They look lazy as hell.
They sitting on the couch with their bare testicles all on the couch.
Oh, that's very lifelike for some men.
And that's the problem. That's not a fantasy. That's real life.
Goodness gracious.
Get up off that couch.
Want me a hard-working looking dog.
Yeah.
I want a dog that look like he work hard, all right? Gonna take the
He
trash
looks like
out.
he's playing video games all day.
Gonna sweep the floor and I don't ask him to.
All right.
I swept the floor the other day and my wife told me she got moist. I'm dead serious. She's like, that turned me on so much to see you sweep the floor.
I mean, you've never done that.
You know me.
Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Fitty.
Well, 50 Cent is executive producing a new show. It's a TV drama called The Oath. Now, The Oath is exploring gang culture and the lives of corrupt police officers. So they actually debuted the full trailer for The Oath on Crackle. You have to kind of see it because I would play it for you, but it's more action. You got to see what goes down. So
how many TV shows 50 got?
A million of them.
Zillion of them.
It's a 10-episode series. And, yeah.
He working.
He's working.
I'm dropping a clue bomb for 50 Cent.
Then the Thieves out now.
BMF TV show coming. Powers season, what, 5? 4? 5? 5.
I thought it was 4.
4. I don't know.
But I'm not sure. Don't quote me. All right. And speaking of TV and movies and all of that, Gucci is saying he's going to do an autobiography of Gucci Mane biopic. He tweeted that out. He said coming to a theater near you. And there's also going to be a Motley Crue biopic. Motley Crue is going to have their biopic in Netflix, and Machine Gun Kelly's going to be on there. He's going to be playing Tommy Lee. Okay. So if you don't know who Motley Crue is,
that'd be interesting.
They're a big hair metal band from back in the 80s and 90s, and it's going to be based on Tommy Lee's memoir, The Dirt. So it should be good. All right, and Yams Day went down yesterday. It was supposed to be celebrating the life of ASAP Yams, who was one of the co-founders of the ASAP Mob. But unfortunately, there was some violence that happened. There were videos posted everywhere online, and people were trying to say that Tekashi 6ix9ine was involved in that melee, and he was the one that caused it. Well, he responded, and this is what he said.
For Yams, his family, that had nothing to do with me. So I wasn't in no fight. I wasn't shot. I wasn't stabbed. Stop making up stories. I have so much respect for the ASAP Mob. Me and Rocky spoke, and there was nothing but love, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than me. Rest in peace, ASAP Yams.
And Tekashi 6ix9ine is a rapper from Brooklyn.
Yeah, thank you for letting me know. Because I have no idea.
He said people always mix his name up with something. It's the internet and it's what comes with fame. But he said, this is not about me. This is a day for Yams. Nothing but love and condolences.
So rest in peace to ASAP Yams. Salute to the ASAP Mob.
Absolutely.
All right. And last but not least, NERD is going to be performing at the 2018 NBA All-Star Game halftime show. So that should be pretty exciting if you want to see them perform.
Does that mean we see Rihanna? Because their first single got Rihanna?
I don't know. But it would be nice.
You talking about Rihanna? What about Chad and the other guy? What's the other dude's name? It's 3 members of Nerd.
Right, 3 members.
I want to know, would y'all even notice if the other 2 weren't there as long as y'all see Pharrell?
You would definitely, if it's NERD, yeah.
I haven't seen either one of these guys since they released this song.
Well, Fergie's going to be performing the Star Spangled Banner as well, just so you know.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, you see them there in the video.
They in the video?
They're in the video, yeah. A little bit of it.
I'm Angela Yee, and that's your Rumor Report.
All right, thank you, Miss E.
And did anybody watch Black Card Revolt yesterday?
No, I didn't watch Black Card Revolt. That's another great BET show. So what's the BET, man? I'm telling y'all, man, BET is putting out some good content. I keep hearing that BET's ratings aren't where they need to be, and I don't know why, because I don't understand why we're not watching BET, because BET is putting out some great content. That's a Black Card Revolt is a BET show, right?
Yeah, shout out to my girl Letitia. That's her first show, so she's really excited.
And it's hosted by Tony Rock?
To have Black Card Revolt. All right.
And it's like a game show about blackness,
yeah,
right?
I actually have the actual
the
card
cards?
game. The cards.
Listen, man, I like the content.
I was playing that in Montserrat with my friends, Black Card Revolt.
Okay. All right. Well, shout to Revolt for joining us. Revolt, we'll see you guys on Monday. Everybody else, let's have fun. On Friday.